So I want to look at journal page 59. And we've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but let's read together this learning objective. I can generate a number pattern that follows a given rule. I want to talk about this word generate. What do you think that word generate means? What does the word generate mean? I can generate a number pattern that follows a rule. What do you think, Carson? Huh? Create. That's a great synonym for generate. Create. Now, when you are taking the iLearn or maybe the NWEA or maybe even one of the Pearson assessments, and it uses that word generate, sometimes you guys can easily do what it says, but you come across that word generate and we haven't seen it very much and you get confused and hung up on the word. So that just means that you can create a number pattern. It might say generate an equation. That just means to create or make an equation, okay? Easy enough. So we're making a pattern using a rule, okay? So first of all, the first thing that we need to know is that if you have a number beside a variable, what does that mean we do? When we have a number right next to a variable, what does that mean we do? Connor? Multiply. That means we replace the variable with a number and then we multiply. Very good. Okay. If you have an input-output table like you do below, then you need to, if you are given the input, if you know the input, then you follow the rule. But if you know the output, you have to reverse the rule. So if you know the input, you just follow the rule like it's written. But if you know the output, you're going to reverse the rule. Yes, ma'am?
I'm a bit confused.
I bet you are, but we're going to do a couple of examples together, and then I don't think you will be anymore. Mason?
What happens if you have neither?
The input nor the output, then you can't solve.
Okay.
Okay? So let's do this example down here at the bottom, and this is a two-step rule. There are two things that you have to do. First, you're going to multiply times 3, and then you're going to add 5. Okay? So we have an input-output table. If the x is equal to 5, if the x is equal to 5, then we're going to do 3 times 5 and then add 5. We can write that. You guys have been writing two-step equations for a while. 3 times 5 and then add 5. And that will give you your y. So what is y equal to here? Everyone should be able to easily solve this. Noah? 20. Because 3 times 5 is 15. Then we add our 5, and that gives us 20. So, if the x is 5, then our y is equal to 20. Okay? But on an input-output table, the values can change. What if our x is equal to 6? What does my two-step equation look like then, Penelope? Help me exchange that x for a 6. What do I do? So here we made this, the x a 5. Now we're going to make the x a 6. What am I going to do? 3 times x, but instead of doing 3 times x, we're going to do 3 times what? 3 times 6, and then we still add 5. That's our rule. That's the rule for this input-output table. Multiply by 6, then add 5. So what does that equal when we do that? What is y equal to? You probably need to look at your paper and figure it out. You do 3 times 6 and add 5, and then you'll know what y is equal to. Ethan?
23.
23. Okay? Who thinks they can do it with the 7? Okay, let me see you do it on your paper. Bless you. Alec, what'd you get? Not until we're done with this. Do you have this done? Okay, well, write it down. What should you do? Kenley, what'd you do?
I did 3 times 7 and then plus 5.
And what did you get?
26.
Very good. 3 times 7. We replace that x with a 7. And then we add 5. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 5 gives me 26. So that's not too hard. You're just replacing that variable, and you have to remember that when your number and your variable are right up next to each other, that means multiply. So let's look at the situation if we are given the output. So instead of given the x, we're given the y. So now we know 3x plus 5 equals 35. So we have to figure out what that x is. What does it say to do if we know the output? What's it say to do in our learning takeaway?
The output, reverse the
Reverse. So instead of adding 5, we're going to what? Subtract 5. And instead of multiplying by 3, we're going to divide by 3. Okay? So when we do that, we now have 35 minus 5 divided by 3, and that will give us our x. We're just working backwards. So what is 35 minus 5? 35 minus 5 is what, Brady? 30. And then I divide it by 3, which gives me 10. And then I like to just make sure that it works, because I noticed this when we're grading the spiral reviews, and it gives you a blank and then minus or plus and then a number equals. Sometimes you guys subtract and you should add. So I just like to make sure that it works. So let's go back and replace the x. 3 times 10 is 30. Excuse me. Plus 5 is 35. Does that work? Yeah, it works. So now we have 41. So now we need 3x plus 5 equals 41. How am I going to solve that? How do I solve for that x? What am I going to do first? Noah.
5 divided by 2.
Not 5 divided by. Did I add 5 or multiply 5? No, I add 5. I'm adding 5. So I need to subtract 5 and do the reverse. So this time I'm going to do 41 minus 5. And what am I going to divide by? 3. And that's going to give me my x. So Noah, what is 41 minus 5? 36. What is 36 divided by 3? You can do 30 divided by 3 and 6 divided by 3 to get 2 partial quotients. Ethan?
36 divided by 12.
36 divided by 3 is 12. So our our x is equal to 12. And then again, I like to put it back in and make sure that it works. If I do 3 times 12 plus 5, do I get 41? 3 times 12 is 36 plus 5, is that 41? Yeah, then it works. Okay, so try the 14 and we'll be done for the day. Try the 14. Can you do it on your own? Okay, 3x plus 5 equals 14. Follow the same steps that we did before. Raise your hand and we'll see if we got it correct. I have some people still working. Show me on your fingers what you're getting. Very good, very good. Yep, yep, very good. Nicely done. Okay, so you needed to do 14 minus 5 divided by 3. So 14 minus 5 is 9, and when you divide that by 3, you get 3. Last time I'm going to say it, always go back and make sure that it follows the rule and works. So if the rule is y equals 3 times 3 plus 5. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 5 gives you 14. Is that working? Yes. Always go back and make sure it works. We're going to be practicing with this all week. So do not stress if you don't understand what we're doing. These are 2-step equations and they're rules, and we use them on a function table, and they're challenging.